Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, William Regal has been offered a major wrestling deal.
A major SmackDown star looks set to miss the Royal Rumble through injury.
AEW Dynamite tied Raw in 18-49 this week.
And Serena Deeb says getting released from WWE is the best thing that ever happened to her. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
William Regal. He was let go by WWE last week, of course. A whole bunch of Performance Center and NXT-related departures. We covered that at the time. All part, seemingly, of removing the Triple H assembled team that was going to, it had led developmental for a long time. Changes in philosophy. You know the deal. However, he has kind of at least informally been offered a wrestling comeback already. Probably not in the ring, because, he's been retired for a while and, whatever. But Tommy Dreamer, speaking on Busted Open Radio, on which he is a co-host, of course, he's also an Impact Wrestling executive. So theoretically, he would have the power to do this. He said the following, just kind of talking about the changes in NXT and, of course, Regal. If you look at the management, let's say the New York Giants, their general manager, I don't need to read that part. Why am I reading that part? Just talking about the reshuffle and Regal. He says, Regal, the moment I heard he was let go, I shot him a text and said, if you want to be a commentator at Impact, or if you want to be a general manager figure, just let me know. He will have something when he chooses to. So Regal had been with WWE for 22 years. A lot of head scratchers going around when they released this guy, and understandably so. He's yet to confirm what he'll be doing next. But it seems like he has something from Impact on the table at the very least.
That move was very much WWE cutting off their nose to spite their face, wasn't it? Because as much as he's probably a Triple H boy, considering the time they worked together in NXT, he's still got, like you said, all those years of experience. He would be perfect as someone who could mould all the green guys and gals in the new NXT 2.0, but no, he's friends with Triple H. He's got to go. And unsurprisingly, I wouldn't be surprised if they were the if they weren't the only promotion who went for this. Everyone is scrambling to get William Regal in because, you snatch your hand off if you can get that sort of experience and on-screen persona as well. Whether he wants to do commentary, whether he wants to do behind-the-scenes stuff, whether it be in Impact Wrestling or AEW or MLW or wherever he ends up, right? Yeah, there's that, but also he is a brilliant authority figure who can play just, very basic sort of Jack Tunney, I'm calling the future matches, etc.
Yeah, straight
or
up.
Man who's a git who subsequently drinks piss. He can play both roles.
He does have a history of drinking piss, doesn't he? Weird guy. But no, obviously we respect William Regal just like his peers do. And when he came out of WWE and you saw nothing but gushing appraisals of the man from people he'd worked with, from people he'd mentored, there's a weird noise in the background. I hope that's not coming through.
There's a giant bee in the office.
Story number 2.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about King Woods. We'll keep you updated on the William Regal situation as it develops, of course. King Woods looks set to miss the Royal Rumble. He looks set to be out between 4 and 6 weeks. He revealed on G4's Attack of the Show that he suffered the injury on last week's SmackDown, pulling off, I should say, a DDT. Also, I love the way he describes this. He said, I was jumping in the ring to do a DDT. I spring off the bottom rope and grab the guy and then run his head into the ground. That's what jumping DDT is. Hopefully shattering all the bones in his body so I can pin him and win the match and make more money. Kayfabe, I love you, Xavier Woods. He says, in the process, just jumping off the ropes, nothing like, not a shark attack, not a steel chair hit, not a machine gun, not a machete. I just jumped. He's injured himself, as I said, out for 4 to 6 weeks, which is a shame because I love his character, and Andy Murray, I bloody love his new music.
Shoutouts to Megaran, absolutely.
Oh, what a guy.
What a guy. Yeah, this kind of sucks, doesn't it? I mean, he Woods obviously hadn't been announced for the Rumble or anything, but if he's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks, it stands to reason that he's going to miss that event because it's in 2 of them. Yeah, it sucks. It really does. Like having Woods on screen. Presumably, he might be able to keep an on-screen presence.
That's what I was hoping, yes.
Yeah, hanging out with Kofi. 4 to 6 weeks isn't too long, so it's not the end of the world. It's just a little bit crap, that's all.
Can we have some sort of King-related way that Kofi Kingston stays in the Rumble? Because we've not had that for a while, have we? Like a Kofi doing something bonkers to remain in the Rumble. He's stepped on pancakes, he's hopped on a chair, he's done the handstand stuff. I don't know. Maybe he lands on
A dragon.
I was going to say King Woods' cape, but that's also a possibility.
A dragon.
Like you say,
Yeah.
I hope he just gets
Those
back in the
exist.
ring soon. Look, we all said, Xavier Woods, really get a singles title soon.
Yeah, poor guy.
But-
He'll get there. Yeah, he had King of the Ring last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I
he did
hope this is just a temporary bump in the road because I like the new character, love his new theme, and we wish him well in his recovery. And like you say, hope he can remain on screen in the interim whilst he recovers from whatever he's suffering from.
Poor bugger. Anyway, we're gonna talk ratings. Cool.
Oh, good.
Yep, this always goes well. Slow news day. I'm sorry. What can I possibly say? But this week, pretty good numbers for AEW. They've drawn with Raw in their 18-49 rating for the week, which is obviously very positive on the second week on TBS. So I'll quickly summarize these for you guys. 969,000 viewers.
Nice.
100,000 viewers. Not nine. What? What am I talking about?
969,000 viewers.
They
You're
had
right.
9 viewers.
Yeah. No, you got it right the first time.
505, 100,000. What am I doing? I can't say numbers. 505,000, there we go, of those were in the 18-49 demographic.
That's
for
great.
A rating of 0.39. Raw also scored a 0.39 this week, but had 2,000 more viewers, so, there's a margin, things go up, and whatever. Dynamite finished third on the night amongst cable originals. It was second only to a couple of live NBA games. Raw, it should be noted, faced higher competition, including a college football game. I can't say numbers, but I'm going to try this. That drew 22.2 million viewers.
Jesus.
So yeah, big competition for Raw this week. So
Love some football.
that explains why the Raw number has come down a bit, and Dynamite's been able to meet it. Dynamite's down on the previous week, but that was to be expected because the previous week had 3 title matches, including Hangman Page versus Bryan Danielson. So it's a good week. I don't really feel like adding more than that, to be honest.
Do you know what I'm really looking forward to today? It's going to really make my Friday. Getting accused of being an AEW shield today after being accused of being a WWE shield yesterday for just subjectively saying that we didn't like last night.
We'll shield anything.
Dynamite.
We'll shield anything.
Honestly, that was quite the experience. They're just as bad on the other side, I've subsequently realised.
It's just like online
I didn't like
fandoms.
this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. I hate you, you should die.
It's all
okay.
people. Yeah, like the internet has ruined life.
Yeah.
So
How about you just think,
hasn't ruined
well, that's so-and-so's opinion on this. Maybe I'll just keep my opinion to my goddamn self.
don't be a weird guy.
Right, let's conclude by sticking with AEW and talking about the brilliant Serena Deeb. We are huge fans of hers here at WhatCulture, as many people are.
Seems like a biased statement to me.
Imagine just looking at that phenomenal performer and going, coach.
Put me in, coach.
So she's talked about her, as Andy mentioned earlier, 2 WWE releases. And speaking to the Washington Post, she said, honestly, I consider both of my releases from WWE 2 of the best things that have ever happened to me. She admits she was a super fan as a child of the promotion, but she said when she saw the buzz that AEW, Tony Khan's promotion, was generating, she wanted to get there. She said, I was watching AEW thinking, I want to wrestle there. I stand behind what they're doing. I stand behind how different it is. The things I'd heard about the backstage atmosphere, everything planted that goal into my mind at that point. She's doing great stuff on there. She's got this epic feud with Hikaru Shida, which I believe is 2-2 now.
Yep.
After the, it wasn't really a submission, was it? It was the ref that just called the match off.
Just an ass kicking.
Basically, on Dynamite. She's sensational. I can't think why anyone would just think, right, we'll have you in, we'll shave your head for the Straight Edge Society, and then off you go. Yeah. And then subsequently see her and see how good she is. You must have seen how good she is in the ring, even when she's just coaching people, and thought, ooh, bit
Don't
old.
need that, yeah.
Bit old and don't need
Bit
you.
old at 33 or whatever she was when they released her. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. We speak about this quite often because Serena Deeb's a big favourite in the office. And I thought the stuff this week was just sensational. Like, we've had the 3 good in-ring matches that have gone 10, 12 minutes or whatever. It was kind of refreshing this week to essentially get a prolonged angle.
Yeah.
Where Serena chop blocks her on the ramp, Shida, and just beats the piss out of her knee and wins in a couple of minutes. I thought it was sensational.
Have I told you my fantasy booking for this feud going forward, which I think I actually done quite well?
What's that?
So next time Hikaru Shida's coming out there, when she's healed and she's out weighing with the fans, you sense that Serena Deeb's going to do it again. Serena Deeb is the sort of female modern day Bret Hart, I think it's fair to say.
Very fair.
So what if you Bret Hart? She goes to do the chop block on Sheeta again, but Sheeta's got a metal plate on the back of her knee.
Oh, take that.
What? There you go. You can have that, sweet
Does
TK.
that mean Serena Deeb is the Goldberg in this equation?
Let's focus less on that.
Weird.
Right. Let us know your thoughts on everything we discussed in the comments. We'll move on to your Twitter questions at WhatCulture WWE. Of course, we want to get in touch with us. First question today comes from Biggest Joe, who says, "Hi guys, great to see Brody King as part of the House of Black and Malachi get his own stable. Could you see? There's a reason why I've asked you this." The Butcher joining them.
Ooh, I mean, lost my words. I tweeted a couple of times about this. You know, when then Aleister Black left WWE, I was like, oh, like aesthetically, if you put him standing next to the Butcher and the Blade, it looks perfect.
Yeah,
it looks perfect, doesn't it? I think it would be a good fit, man. Both the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny. I said both. There's three of them. You know, they just look like a group of people who would hang out together, don't they?
Yes.
The black attire, the metal aesthetic, the tattoos, the beards and stuff. Obviously, the Bunny doesn't have a beard, but the other guys do. I think it makes a lot of sense, and I'd like to see it. And it would be a cool faction because they'd, you know, be spooky and intimidating. It'd be awesome.
I'm going to go in on WWE fans today.
Here we go.
I can't believe that these are the people who sit there. Like, I don't know a lot about Brody King. I admit this yesterday, but I'm fascinated to see what he can do, and I thought it was a very good, impactful debut on Dynamite. But you can't sit on social media and say, oh, here we go, AEW, signing more bloody WWE talent. Why don't you get your own talent from somewhere else? AEW signs Brody King. Who the fuck's this guy? I've never seen him before. He's never been in WWE. You can't have it in both ways.
I'm with you. I'm totally with you.
Mark Solid.
Just don't go on Twitter, I think.
That's a good point. That is a very, very good point.
Never tweet.
Mark Solid. Hook's got the right idea, basically, hasn't he?
Yes, he does.
Mark Solid on Twitter says, Morning Legends, thoughts on when and how Trent will turn heel?
Oh, man. Yeah, I think it's going to come as a result of... Haircut, yeah, there you go. Just kind of like the Super Elite, the era, the guys, the boys, you know who I'm talking about. They're going to beat best friends at the end of this feud, I believe, and that's going to be the thing that kind of triggers it for Trent. He's been given some sideways glances, he's been a bit aloof since he came back, and I think he'll go, hey guys, we lost again, this sucks, I'm out. I like best friends a lot. Like it's just a gang of weird people who seem like who would get along very well, and they're all great on social media, Chuck especially. But I do feel like that group could use a little bit of a reshuffle, a little bit of something new. You can't do a very similar act forever and not have diminishing returns, apart from a few like exceptional cases. So I think a change would do them good, in the words of whoever sang that song, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he's going to, subsequent to this feud, betray, let's say, Chuck Taylor, turn on him, beat the crap out of him. And then I could easily see, because he's such a great wrestler, Trent using that springboard to maybe become something like TNT champion or something.
Yeah, have a cool little run.
And then you've got the lovely bit when he finally does go back to them, because it's wrestling cyclical, it's going to happen. Yeah. And then when they do finally re-embrace, what a lovely moment that'll be.
And the split will be bittersweet. I think, like, looking at wrestling factions, best friends are probably in like the top one you'd like to hang out with. Like they I don't know, they seem like fun people.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Right, final question today comes from Irish Viking 383, who says, greetings, legends. Greeting, Irish Viking.
Irish Viking.
If booked correctly, could you see either Braun Breaker or Walter being the one to eventually dethrone Roman for the Universal Championship?
I would say that Braun Breaker's probably a bit more likely, just because he's one of these people who fits the exact mold of what Vince is trying to craft developmental into and provide that pipeline from NXT 2.0 for better or worse, and we've debated both sides of it today. No, we haven't debated it today. Or in the past, we've talked about it loads of times. But yeah, Braun Breaker, I could absolutely see him being hot-shotted into a mainline program on the main roster. Is he going to be the person to beat Roman? I think the events of the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania 38 will tell us a lot about that belt and its future. But yes, I could see it. I think they see millions of dollars in him.
Yeah, I don't see it happening, but I will say this, for either of them, by the way, Braun Breaker or Walter, I bloody hope Walter gets a major title on the main roster relatively swiftly, but I don't know whether it's going to be that one. I will say this. I don't think WWE knows who the guy is to take the Universal title off Roman Reigns. If it's not The Rock or Brock, both of whom don't need that.
Or Money in the Bank cash-in.
Yeah. He's like, what? He's just past 500 days as Universal Champion.
It's been a great run.
There was a good story there with Big E. It's not there anymore. I don't think you do that.
They didn't tell it. Yeah.
No. So, I don't know. So it may well be someone like Braun Breaker, but they need to pick someone that isn't already established, because this is a hell, it's not quite the same as like the Undertaker's streak or anything like that, but it's a hell of an accolade to take. So don't just give it to someone who's already got stuff that they can utilize to push themselves.
Yeah.
Although I'm also not saying have Reggie beat him.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, Drew Gulak's won the title.
That'd be alright, actually.
Yeah, I like Drew Gulak and I like Reggie, but they're not people they built up. Yeah, not to extend this video to 40 minutes or whatever, but ideally they would have started building up someone as soon as Roman won that belt to eventually taking that from him. And other programs and other companies, the Hangman Page one in AEW is a good example of how to build someone up over 7 years to eventually get their big win. 7 years, several years. I'm a mess. Let's just do the thing. Let's
Boogs. It's Boogs. I've just remembered. It's Rick Boogs. Rick Boogs is taking the title off him.
Snoop Boogie Boogs.
Yeah, right. Let's move on to today's and finally. And do you remember earlier on this week, Andy Murray, when CM Punk dropped the C word on Twitter?
Yep.
To a fan.
It was something else.
Now, putting all the vaccine, blah, blah, all that stuff to one side, there was a reason why he said that, etc., etc. Matt Cardona's won Twitter again for the day. Tweeting last night, I'll sign as many autographs as you want at the airport at 4:30 AM for free, because I am #always ready to be a babyface. He knows exactly what he's doing, and I love it.
You seen him and stuff with him, Janela and Chelsea Green recently?
Top comment on that is someone saying, will you sign this picture? And it's Janela and Chelsea Green by the pool.
He's sensational. I love what he's been doing. He's been doing.
No offense to him, this is going to sound incredibly like a backhanded compliment, but when he left WWE, as much as I loved all the stuff with Z, True Long Island story, etc., and like the way he built himself up, and then WWE went, stop doing that.
Yeah.
Right? When he left, I was like, well, that's the last we'll see of him until he returns to WWE, and he's done sensationally.
He's done it again, hasn't he? He's just done the exact same thing. He's used the internet and created a crazy persona and got himself over again, and it's really cool.
One of my favourite wrestling images of the last few years is that one where he's walking through the crowd at GCW and there's a woman just like it's old school, like sort of Jim Cornette that he would adore, that I really hate you.
Yeah.
This isn't me being like, oh, boo, because you're the bad guy. She's like, genuinely go F yourself.
I'm gonna pick this chair up and throw it at your head. Like, obviously don't do that if you're at a wrestling show. But yeah, nothing but love for what Matt Cardona's doing. It's great.
Fantastic
it's
work.
Really great.
Right, let us know your thoughts on that and all of today's news stories in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from. For daily wrestling podcasts, we're previewing SmackDown, we're previewing Rampage, and we've got Wrestle Culture with a Bloody Good quiz coming later on today. Plus, you can let us know your thoughts and Twitter questions on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. Watch there, follow both of us. You can follow Andy Murray at
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for Hoopla.
You can follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCultureWWE. But for now, my thanks to Andy Murray. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.
Yes.